I'm going to introduce Dr. John Dixon next to say a few words about the First World War. John is from Alun and represents the Western Front Association and has written many books about the conflict, and he'll say a few words about setting the context, if you like, for the website that we're launching this morning. And you know, when we talk about the First World War, it was not only a traumatic event at that time, but it was an event that has resonance today and created a context for most of our history in the 20th century. Do you know, when we talk about our histories, I was once told by a historian that the difference between English history and Welsh history is they talk about kings and queens and prime ministers, and we talk about people. And do you know, the purpose of this website was to create our history, to try to ensure that a new generation understands our history as communities, as people, as families. All of us know somebody and has been touched by somebody who would either fought in the First World War, who suffered in the First World War, who was affected by the First World War. And what we're trying to do is to ensure that a generation that was born not in that century but in this century understands what that means to them and their families. It's not only a means of remembering, but it's a means of understanding. A means of understanding and translating the past into the present. You know, I was talking last night to somebody who'd just seen the Sainsbury's advert, which uses imagery from the First World War. We can question the rights and wrongs of that. But it's extraordinarily striking that an incident that happened a century ago, involving probably no more than 40 or 50 people, has a cultural resonance with us today. And that speaks about what we as a people and as a country still feel that connection. So what we're hoping to do through this website is to make every family and to enable every family in this borough and people who are from this borough and have moved away to understand how that war affected them. It's about sharing our family history, it's about understanding our family histories, and it's about putting that conflict into the context of our communities and the generations that are being born today. So it's something which I hope will not simply be something for us today as we remember the centenary, but an ongoing project which will enable us to understand how that affected us and our families. And I hope that all of you will be a part of that. Just log on to find out, you know, what happened to somebody down your street or in our towns. But it's something that all of us can contribute towards as well. Can send a photograph in, can just write a few words. I was talking to somebody in Tregear earlier in the week, and they said, I just got a couple of words here about my grandfather. And it was just a typewritten side of A4. That can go onto the site, and people can learn about that person's grandfather. So it's something for all of us, and it's something which I hope will continue to be not simply a memorial, but a living memorial for people to understand how that conflict affected us. So I'd like to introduce John to say a few words about the conflict.